What's up everybody, trueeevil here, back with another Neverness to Everness video, and today I'm going to be giving my full in-depth review of Underground Circuit. Now, to make this review as well all-encompassing as possible, I made sure that I grinded out all of the rewards for this event, so I was able to give a true understanding of this minigame and whether or not I thought it was a really fun experience, if it was a bad experience, or if I was indifferent. So I'm going to just lay down all the facts from how I experienced the mode, and at the end, you can be the judge of whether or not this was a great minigame. When I heard about this minigame from the NTE 1.1 livestream, I was really excited for this because it said that there was going to be co-op with a passenger being able to use a gun while someone drives. On the patch release, I tried to queue up with my friend, and to our dismay, there wasn't a way to do matchmaking as a team, which makes sense because this is labeled as a free-for-all. If there is a way to do it, then, well, it wasn't obvious, and we didn't figure it out. We tried to do a 3, 2, 1 countdown and queue at the same time, but on our 2 attempts of this, it never worked out. This was a little bit of a letdown for me, but it's not the end of the world. When I queued, I tried to get into people's cars, and for some reason nobody wanted me to ride shotgun to use the weapon. I found that strange because it seems advantageous to have someone use the weapon to clear obstacles for you while you drive. When I finally decided to go driver and let people into the car, I kind of realized why people didn't want a random co-op partner. From most matches, there are generally 2 people who AFK at the starting line for rewards, but these people are generally still on their computer from what I can tell, and realized if they could AFK ahead of the other AFKers, they will get more points. Essentially from this, what I found was generally 2 out of every 3 matches, the shotgun partner would actually go AFK, because by riding in the car initially, they would get more points than the other AFKers who stayed at the starting line. This was annoying, but sometimes there was someone who would actually play the game, which is, well, what should be happening. But unfortunately, this is a free-for-all and is not a real team event. What this means is that if the car destructs, then the co-op partner can seize the next car and leave without you, which happened every time this happened for me. With it being for the first 2 times, they left me, and after I learned my lesson, well, I was leaving them stranded. This would pretty much guarantee you a last place in almost every situation if there was not another car nearby if someone stranded you. In one match in particular where this happened, it took almost an entire minute to find another car to use, which is where I come to the biggest frustration of this minigame, which is the car being combustible. Now, I do not have a problem with the cars having HP and that they can explode. What I did have a problem with is that there was no indicator of the HP of the car. Sometimes I would get a lot of the green items, which I assumed were heals, and then my car would blow up from one of those targeted hits immediately after. Maybe those weren't HP healers, maybe they were just to fix like a tire that went flat. I tried to find an indicator of HP, but I didn't see any bars, and there was no visual black smoke red fire on the engine to indicate that the car was at low HP. This made it incredibly frustrating because there was no way of knowing if I needed to leave my car for a new one or not. And some of these explosions would end up with me being stranded for almost an entire minute, which would make me question, why did I even try playing when I could have gotten the same amount of rewards being AFK? Well, boys, I started AFKing. And from AFKing, I actually found out that there was an entire AFK method to this minigame. Most people who AFK the game are still nearby on their phones or monitor, so what ended up happening was a few things that evolved, so it was kind of like an AFK meta. The first one is people would slide their characters up just a little subtly, a little bit, so they're above everyone else AFKing so they could get more points than the others. This happened pretty much the entire time. Then what happened was that people would start playing once the 30 seconds started flashing on the screen that the match was ending so they could get a car and secure the 3rd or 4th. Yes, boys, people were sweating for that extra 200 points, and honestly, it was kind of funny, but it made me think as I saw the meta progress to being, well, they got in the passenger seat at the beginning to AFK to offset the people who were playing in the last 30 seconds. One thing that makes a fun minigame is that everyone involved, well, plays the mini game. When every match has people AFKing for participation points, it makes the game not play out with how it was designed for because, well, there's only 3 people playing instead of the intended 6. And because of this, it took away my personal enjoyment of this mini game. And in the future, I really hope that Hota Studios steers away from free-for-all multiplayer in these events and make them doable as either a single player experience or co-op experience only. If you have a competitive event with participation points that are based on ranking, people will always AFK and just make the event not as fun for the people, well, playing the event and trying to have fun with it. And I do not think there is a way to solve people AFKing in these events, because if there was like a AFK timer that would kick people off if they haven't moved in over a minute, well, people would complain and just be like, I quit this game, this sucks. So what I hope in the future for the next events they do is that they make them things like maybe a mixology mini game at a bar where you make different types of cocktails, or maybe the same kind of thing but do it with a ramen bar instead, or actually a combat mini game that adds a fun spin on it and that kind of breaks the game in a way where you get like all these super cool effects. And, that would be really fun. Now, even though I did not enjoy this mini game, that doesn't mean it makes me not like the game. I just didn't like this one particular mini game, and I hope that the ones in the future are much better. I tried doing Bagel more because it seems a lot of people really like it. And unfortunately, with the last update, it has failed to upload every single time I've tried to do photos. I went online and I saw people post ways to fix this, like changing your resolution, uninstalling and reinstalling the game, and pretty much nothing has worked on that. So that's kind of a bummer too, which is the other sort of mini game they added into the game is unplayable for me, and I have no idea to fix that. So this is kind of like a pretty big bummer, but once again, it's not something that's going to make me quit the game. I did not play this game because of Bagel, right? I played the game because I enjoy the combat, I enjoy the city exploration, and all of those cool things. And I really do hope that with the next upcoming patches, they focus more on exploration than, say, like these style of mini games. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me or if you think I don't know what I'm talking about. So see you guys next time with another video.